We all know that due to the prophecy of the future devil that Aki will die in the worst possible way. During his chase of the gun devil, he learned about how he will end up being killed by Denji together with power. So he tried to escape from his fate, even leaving behind his main objective in life, that was to defeat the gun devil. He wanted to find a solution and save his friends from sharing his own fate. But sadly, Makima, that was possibly the way out of his problem, ended up being the one that caused the problem. Aki is held captive by the power of the control devil and is one of the victims of the gun devil during its attack against Makima. Because if we see the list of dead persons that appeared during that episode, we see that Aki appears in that list. During this fight, Makima uses the power of the angel devil, but in a large scale, to be able to defeat the gun devil. Although it isn't shown clearly to cause mystery to the story and question the reader. So later appears the Gun Fiend. That is what happened after the gun devil, being controlled by Makima, possessed the corpse of Aki, and he knocks the door of Denji, and there we begin seeing this snowball fight that is probably the saddest part of the whole manga so far. We see that in the beginning of the chapter, after Denji opens the door, Aki says his name, while in the same time the vision of Aki before dying, he is able to see Denji in the middle of the snow as an adult. Aki is being controlled almost totally by the gun devil. He doesn't know why he got outside, so he wonders about this while challenging Denji to a fight. When Aki throws the first snowball at Denji in his vision, it's the same in the actual timeline, instead that he's attacking Denji and trying to kill him. So the Gun Fiend also jumps into Power and tries to attack her, and while Power is protecting Miaui and Denji turns into the Chainsaw Man, we see that Aki in his vision is also able to witness what the Gun Fiend is doing, but in a different approach. He could see that both of them are at snow now staring at him, and that's why he says that Power is on Denji's team, because they are together. Each snowball that this innocent child version of Aki throws is just a silly representation of each attack intended to kill Denji in the real world. So when Denji starts defending the people and Power and tries to retaliate, it represents in the vision of Aki that he is joining the snowball fight, and he starts throwing snowballs back at Aki. And this is why suddenly Denji seems to be a young boy in the vision instead of an adult, and he's already wearing clothes to be in the snow. While they fight, Denji is constantly trying to make Aki react, but Aki just can't react because he's a walking corpse possessed by a devil, but somehow he's still able to feel and interpret everything that happens nearby his corpse. He's laughing out loud as a child in his dream because he's finally having a snowball fight with Denji, and I think that his way to participate in this fight is a way that Fujimoto wanted to show us how much the relationship between them changed before Aki dies. If we flash back into the first episodes of the manga, we see how Aki treats Denji like an idiot because he doesn't have a real reason to be there working as a devil hunter, and he even tells Denji to just go away and quit his job or he will beat the shit out of him if he appears again. And on chapter 13, Aki also used to treat his younger brother as someone very annoying, and he didn't want to play catch with him actually. So from my own perspective, I think that Aki, after all the time he spent together with his friends, he started to see Denji as his brother, and he really reminded him of his real brother who died years ago. That is why he's playing with Denji in the snowball fight, because Denji is somehow his new brother. Another small detail that I noticed on these chapters is that Aki gets cold hands in chapter 79, just moments before he's killed by Denji. And this also affects the vision of the snowball fight because Denji starts crying before throwing the last snowball, and then suddenly he disappears. And well, on chapter 13, the younger brother of Aki also had cold hands before dying, so maybe it's a small parallelism that Fujimoto wanted to add. And as I said before, Denji kills the Gun Fiend, he disappears from the vision of Aki, and suddenly his dead brother appears in his dream ready to join the snowball fight. This represents one of the most heartbreaking moments in the life of Aki, the day that he lost his family and moments before he was supposed to be playing catch with his brother, and this part of his life that was taken away from him is now back with this vision, and we see that Aki is smiling while playing with his brother for one last time. And we can see that Aki is very happy because he spent all his life feeling guilt because he felt that he killed his brother, and he said it many times, and with this he's finally able to do what he couldn't do before. This is the end for Aki, but it's a very beautiful metaphor to show us that even if his life was a whole tragedy, he was able to find happiness and peace in his final moments. So this is the end of a very hard and sad episode that probably made many of the Chainsaw Man fans cry or be like, this can't be happening, Aki was such a great character with so much potential. But I think it's a good ending for such a great character like Aki. I trust in Fujimoto and his choice to finish this cycle here. Or who knows if he might bring him back somehow, because we know how he works. One day one character is dead and on the next day something weird happens and they're immortal again. So these are my thoughts about the snowball fight, and I hope you enjoyed this short breakdown and analysis. In the next weeks I will probably be working in a very long Koveini analysis also, and maybe a Yoshida post, I don't know. So if you're interested in my material and you want to support me, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And as I always say, guys, thank you and see you soon.